the official unveiling of Ella, my new startup. And I couldn't be more excited about the presentation today. I've been in the industry a long time. Some of you remember me from Tech Savvy Agent, ages ago. Some of you might have met me through Inman when I was the chief evangelist. I used to work for Realtor.com, top producer. I wrote a book with Dot Loop's founder called People Work. Curator just went on a 12-year amazing run. And when I looked at, what does the world need versus what does it not need? Because there's so much parity in real estate. There's so many solutions that do the exact same thing. It's just, you could pick this platform or this platform and they're damn near the same. So today, you guys are going to meet Ella, which is the first and only email marketing agency specifically for real estate agents. And I'll just start by giving you guys a little bit of the background on the name, which I love. Ella is an acronym. I'm a big acronym guy. And it stands for turning your email list into listing appointments. Your email list is your most valuable asset by a mile, and it's also largely neglected. So I have teamed up with Jimmy Jr., also known as Andrew Bayan, and we are the co-founders of Ella. I'm also, you can see in the chat, Hannah Lockhart and Lais Rechin. These are the other founding partners in the company, and everybody has a specialty, but A+ team, passionate, excited. We're really, really good at researching, writing, design, strategy. And a lot of agents could use that help when it comes to email marketing. I just wrapped up my tenure at Curator, and Jimmy Mackin, for those of you that don't know him, when we started Curator, it was very simple. People were blown away by social media. They were absolutely in awe of the potential, but they didn't know what to do. They wanted to hire an expert. And if you even look at our shirts there, we do it for you. And it was a once in a lifetime experience. We made that, ink list. We were featured by Adweek, best-selling books, massively popular conference. And as a part of that journey, we looked at the real estate landscape, which is what's on your screen. This isn't even all of them, but this is a screenshot of all the different technology for real estate agents, whether it's, marketing or sales or CRM or email tools. There's so many tools. So the question I want you to think about as we get started is, do you really need another product, right? Do you need another tool, or do you need help? That's what agencies do. They use tools on your behalf to execute and solve a problem. So the reason I started Ella is because, number one, a lot of agents, and this is, really sad, but a lot of agents don't even send an email newsletter. If they do, they're very inconsistent with it. If they do, it looks more like a flyer. It doesn't really look like an email newsletter. Or they send templates, that their brokerage or that the, service provider that they work with provides. And we think you can do a lot better. And so I'm going to walk you guys through Ella today. But if you look at the kind of sad state of repeat and referral business, 87% of people said, I'll work with my agent again. 12% actually do. And I'm going to tell you guys, very simple. You're not investing your efforts into your past clients in your sphere of influence that you should be. You're buying all of these tools, hiring all of these companies to help you get new business. Meanwhile, you're neglecting the list that you've already built, the people that know you, the people that like you, the people that trust you, the people that refer you, the people that use you again. You know, a lot of people get referrals on accident. They don't get them on purpose. So one of my favorite sayings is, are you tripping over nickels to pick up pennies? Your email list is a nickel. Internet leads are a penny. So the status quo is, you know, their email newsletters, when they do go out, they're very templated, like selling this winter. Now's a great time to buy. You know, find your dream home this season. They're not built for a modern era. There is a proven way that I'm going to show you guys to do email marketing that will actually wow people. It will actually kind of put you in that digital mayor seat. And for me, the Chris list has been so powerful for my business. So for those of you that don't get the Chris list, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. without fail, the best marketing, sales, and technology advice for real estate agents. The business impact of the Chris list is very simple. So most of you today are tuning in because you get my Chris list. And when that would be considered a Gary V jab. So every week I'm jabbing with an A+ email. Well, when it's time to sell something like today, people are paying attention because you send so much valuable on a regular basis that they actually want to hear what you have to sell. The business implications of the Chris list are tremendous. It builds my brand, it builds my authority, but it's an attention economy. And you have to be in front of people if you want to earn their business. And so what you're doing a lot of times is you're repelling people, you're not attracting people. I like to attract. I don't like to chase. And so that's what kind of content marketing, email marketing can do for you. Now, when you think about email, and you know, listen, it's 2024. By the way, I have 2 other startups that all 3 of my startups that I'm working on use AI, but there is a new and proven way to do an email newsletter that is insanely valuable. One of the companies that pioneered this is called Morning Brew. It's a great email newsletter. Morning Brew sold their email newsletter for $75 million. And so when you look at the design and the structure and the flow of the emails that we create at Ella, that's one of the places it was inspired by. Another email newsletter that's great is called The Hustle. Well, The Hustle was acquired by HubSpot for $27 million. People are paying millions of dollars for email newsletters because it's such a powerful channel. It drives clicks, it drives sales, it creates awareness, it builds authority. In fact, there's a company, a lot of you guys maybe have not heard of them, maybe you have. It's called Axios. Axios was acquired for $525 million. Now, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to show you what Axios does that was able to demand that price point. They literally are a hyper local network of email newsletters. They're not in every market. They're growing like a weed, but they are literally covering the market at a hyper local level. That is where the huge opportunity lies, to be the best local newsletter for your area. And if you think about the ROI, which, you know, that's what everybody seems to be obsessed with, as they should. Email marketing is the most powerful channel for acquisition, and it's not even close. For every $36 that people invest into email marketing, for every $1 invested, it's a 36x ROI. In fact, email marketing is 40 times more effective at acquisition than social media. Click-through rate is 3 to 5 times higher than social media. One of the ones that I loved if you look at the bottom and the middle there, 63% of past clients are more likely to refer their agent if they receive regular emails. And then for those of you that are doing lead generation and you're investing in Zillow leads, Facebook leads, Google leads, Dave Ramsey leads, whatever the source may be, leads are 7 times more likely to convert when they're being nurtured with great emails. So if you think about the data, it really backs up that you should invest in this channel. You want to have an omni-channel approach. This is a really interesting stat from the conversion code. People who are targeted with emails and ads are 21 times more likely to convert. So there is nothing more important than your email list. So how does Ella work? Well, first of all, I want you to look at the bottom of the screen. Ella works with your existing email technology, whether you have Curator, Boomtown, MailChimp, Luxury Presence, Ylopo. We couldn't even fit all the icons, but this is an email marketing agency. You don't have to change tools. You don't have to create a new account. We are logging into your account to execute and send great emails for you, whether that's something like Constant Contact that you already have, or whether you're a Compass agent and you're using the Compass platform. There is no new technology involved here. This is a group of people that love email marketing that will research your market. We meet with you one-on-one. We get to know your brand. We get to know your area. This is incredibly hyper-local. Once we've researched and learned about your brand, we then write your emails for you. Hyper-local, one-of-a-kind, handcrafted. Nobody has the same email as another client. We also focus on design. You know, design is really important when it comes to email newsletters, not just the graphics, but the spacing, the cadence. There's definitely a right way to do it. And then we send it for you and we track the results. So we do the researching, we do the writing, we do the design, we do the sending and tracking, all using the platform that you already have. Now I want to break down, because there's a lot of people, you know, they're going to tell themselves that they can do this without us, and that's fine. But you really have to ask yourself, does the past predict the future? Because there's a client I'm going to show you in a minute. He's been in the industry for 47 years and he still hasn't gotten his email newsletter right. Eventually you have to come to terms with the fact that you're not going to do this and do it well. So when we create an email newsletter, we kind of have termed like the anatomy of a perfect email newsletter. And these are exactly the same thing you would find with the Chris list, with Morning Brew, with Axios, with the Hustle. You want to have some personal branding. You know, Gino's guide was inspired by the Chris list. We come up with the Brazelton buzz. We come up with the Tarrant talk. We give your email newsletter a brand, and we make sure every time people open it, they see you. There's an opening blurb welcoming them to the email. And then there's a new format that works really great, which is a table of contents. So in Gino's example, the G is good to know, the E is the economy, the N is notable news, and the O is on the market. And then within the email itself, there's a section title. We create relevant graphics. We use AI to create the graphics from scratch, so they're all custom. There's a headline for the topic. We summarize the article, and then we link to the source of the summary. In the past, to do an email newsletter, you would have had to have created all the content in the email newsletter. The huge unlock, and this is what Morning Brew and the Hustle figured out years ago, your email newsletter can be amazing without you creating any original content. There is so much information out there that's great that you're going to curate the information. You're going to summarize and add your 2 cents to it. And then you're going to link if people want to read more. But the beauty of this is they don't have to click. every Chris list that you've ever read was valuable, even if you never clicked. I call this putting the meat on the bone. You need your email newsletter to be really good without anybody ever having to click through. There will be opportunities to click, but they shouldn't have to. And then at the end, it's very simple. We add a social media call to action. Hey, make sure you're following me on Instagram. We do a very simple outro and a signature. And then we use a technique that Jimmy and I pioneered years ago, which is the PS sales pitch. PS, because remember, the email is just full of value. PS, if you haven't heard, mortgage rates are at their lowest since 2023 February. If you've been looking to pull the trigger, now could be the perfect time. So the first thing we do with you at Ella is we come up with what your newsletter should have. There's no two newsletters that are the same. Some people want to focus on numbers. Some people want to focus on restaurants. Some people want to focus on commercial developments, and we can accommodate for any of that. These are some examples of what we've written recently. So obviously it's Christmas. So we spotlight hyperlocal events in Christmas. We spotlight commercial developments. You can see 9.9 million in funding planned for the transformation of this building in Cincinnati. We actually will spotlight new stores that are opening. We will spotlight condo buildings that are going up. This is handcrafted, one of a kind, and hyperlocal. When Jimmy and I were running Curator, every client would ask us, hey, can you guys make this hyperlocal? Can you guys do this that's unique just to my market? And the reality is that doesn't scale. It doesn't scale to do this for tens of thousands of people. That's why it's called an agency. It's a small boutique agency that can only work with so many clients. But if you have market data, that's useful for us. If you have charts or graphs, we can design charts and graphs. If you're investing in Altos research, we can include that research in your newsletter. And in fact, one of the biggest opportunities is for those of you that are prolific content creators on other platforms, your email newsletter is one of the best places to get distribution. So these are the 5 best things to do in Cincinnati from a local. That was Scott's YouTube video. We're leveraging his email list. Think about somebody who's on the call today, Glenda Baker. Glenda Baker is a prolific content creator on TikTok, on Instagram. She's got a podcast, but a lot of times, even the people that are doing that, they don't have an email newsletter to complement those efforts. Glenda's email, if she joins Ella, would include her top TikToks of the month. It would include the highlights from her podcast. So these channels can really work nicely together. Some of the clients that we've brought on so far, it's been really fun to work with them. This is actually my man in Kansas City. And if some of this feedback relates to you, like that's why it's in here. I used to try to send monthly, but I actually haven't sent in the last year. And I'd actually like to know in the chat, so everybody can see everybody's. How many email newsletters did you send in 2024? I'd like to know. Yvonne 1, there's a maybe 5, lots of zeros, lots of not enoughs. 4, 6, 7. Whoever sent 12, props to you. Somebody sent 50. It'll be interesting to figure that out. A few, 36. Yeah, well, what we've learned through this process is that most people should start. I'll show you the different packages in a minute, but most people should start with a monthly email newsletter that's great. And then you can ramp up into bi-weekly, you can ramp up into weekly. But for most of our clients so far, getting anything out the door with consistency and quality is really hard for them. So now the KC Insider 365 is going to go out without fail. Scott never has to worry again about researching, writing, sending, a great email newsletter. Chandler, who's one of our clients, he is incredibly bullish about his brand. He has a huge email list. People love him. And I thought he summed it up really nicely when we asked him, like, why did you hire Ella? I don't want to send crap. If your brokerage is giving you a template and they're putting it into the Compass platform and there's 30,000 other agents that are getting that same template, yeah, you're executing, but is it a differentiator? So for Chandler, it's the Tarrant Talk. We cover restaurants that he actually goes to and loves. We talk about tax advice, which is a big part of how he's built his brand. And then one of my favorite clients, Amit, those of you that don't know Amit, he's a top agent, has been for many years at Compass. We're losing listing opportunities from our database. He knows it. You guys know it. Do something about it. So now the All in Miami email is going out without fail. We are going to get Amit more listings, more referrals, and more repeat business. Another thing we do is when you're sending a monthly email, you guys should all do what we call the double dip. The double dip is very simple. You send the email to your list, you wait a few days, usually about a week, to let the dust settle. And then you can go back and you can change the subject line. You can change the preview text and you can send it again to the people that didn't open it. When you segment your list by the people that didn't open it and you remix the subject line and the preview text, you can get another huge percentage of people to open it. What happens when you segment your list is really powerful. Like when you segment an email list, the open rate is higher than 14% higher than when you don't segment. The click-through rate is 100% higher and the unsubscribe rate is 9% lower. So what we do is after we've sent the email newsletter and we get as many people as possible to open it, we don't stop there. We throw the right hook. These are emails that we call conversation starters. This is going to be where there's crystal clear deals in your inbox. So what we're working on this week is everyone that got an email opened in the last 2 to 3 weeks, we're now sending them, what's your plan? And this is not an email newsletter. This is a very simple, plain text email. Hey, Chris, it's that time of year when my clients are planning out their goals. Which best describes your situation? 1, I have no plans of buying, selling, or investing. 2, I'm curious about how much my home would sell for. 3, I'm planning on buying if the rates drop. 4, I want to invest in real estate if there are any good deals. So when we send an email like this, we're segmenting your list and we're only sending it to the people that already got and loved your email newsletter. And this will just flood your inbox with responses. This is another one that we did about the interest rates. So these are meant to get direct responses. This is what you guys really want. You want the right hook. You want the reply. You want the listing appointment, but you have to have the jab for the right hook to work or else people will duck. So I want you guys to think about it this way. If you fall into these buckets, you need Ella. Number 1, if you're not sending anything, you need Ella. Number 2, if you're sending sporadically, it's incredibly hard to build your brand and generate business when you're sending 3 a year, 5 a year. It's a lot of other stuff coming people's way. The other thing that I would suggest is that if you're just sending out an email template that is very generic and unoriginal, you need Ella. If you're not creative, if you don't know what to write about, if you don't have the time to do the research, you're too busy to do it and do it right. It's not just about doing it, it's about doing it right. And then the last thing I would say is if you care deeply about your brand, that is going to be very, very important because we care deeply about our brand and yours. When you hire Ella, here's what the outcomes will be. Number 1, you will set listing appointments. Number 2, you will get more referrals. Number 3, you will get more repeat business. You will have a higher lead conversion rate on the leads that you're already paying for. You will unlock what I call digital mayor status, which you're going to see in a second. We have a client and she's at her holiday party and people are coming up to her telling her about how great her newsletter was. And then you will increase your social media followers. The other thing we do, couple add-ons. Number 1 is we actually will create the email template for you. The other thing we do is we clean your list. A lot of you guys have dirty lists. You have people that are unengaged, they've never opened, spam accounts, bounce accounts. So we'll build a template for you. We will also clean your list. But my favorite add-on is the social media content. So we're already putting all this time and research and effort into creating an email newsletter. Well, we then will turn that into custom graphics and copy for you to post on social. So all of your Instagram posts, Instagram stories, questions you can use for your Facebook friends, LinkedIn, Twitter. Not only do you get the newsletter, we remix that and we spin that out into content that you can use throughout the month. All beautiful, all branded, all one of a kind. The feedback that we're getting so far, we have a small group of beta customers. They love it. Gino, we have this huge list. We weren't maximizing it. We knew there was value there. I want to do as much as possible. Our clients love them. Mark, the email newsletters are the best. Our clients love them. We even got a $1.5 million buyer and seller from them. We never want to stop sending them. And then Kathy, this is what I mentioned earlier. I've received many great comments and people talking to me at holiday parties about my newsletter. The influence that this creates, the expertise that this associates with your brand is second to none. That is a very powerful testimonial. So you guys all have an opportunity right now to join Ella. We have some launch specials. I mentioned before that the most popular option is the monthly option. We do everything that I've covered today for $4.99 per month. If you need bi-weekly or weekly, it just becomes a little bit less per email. We're going to drop a link, but there's a special for the launch that I don't want to forget to mention. If you sign up right now, we're going to give you the custom email template for free. That's usually a $250 one-time design fee. We're going to actually clean your list and make sure that your most valuable clients are organized. That's usually $100. And then we're also going to give you the social media posts and video scripts. It's not even just a post. We give you scripts to use for your videos. That's usually $149. Now, we only have 10 spots. There's hundreds of people tuning in. We have 10 spots. So I want to show you guys how you can take advantage of this. You're going to go to ellaemail.com and we'll drop a link in the chat to this. ellaemail.com. When you scroll down or you just click join Ella, that's going to take you to the options. Again, most of you should start with the monthly option. When you click on this, it's going to open up a form. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on social media and graphics add-on. Then you're going to put in a promo code. The promo code is launch. By adding the promo code launch, that's going to subtract the price for the add-ons. So it will be $4.99 per month. Normally that would be $6.50 per month. A couple other things you can do while you're on the website. Number one, you can actually enter your email. and you can send yourself an example of Ella. That way you can actually see a full-blown Ella in your inbox. And then we'd also love you guys, we'll put a link in the chat to this as well. We'd love you guys to follow Ella on Instagram. It's Ella Email Marketing. That is the handle. And that's going to be where we share examples of the newsletter, successes that our clients are having, stats about email, quotes about email. We'd love as many of you guys as possible to follow the Ella account. And I thank you guys all for all your support, all your attention, and keep in touch. And thank you guys for joining the Ella live stream today. We'll talk soon.